Hello everybody and welcome to Revisiting Disney. This is the series in which I pick an attraction every week, or most of the time you guys pick an attraction every week, and I play Armchair Imagineer and I sort of revisit the attraction as if I had to replace it with something else. It doesn't mean I always want to see an attraction replaced. Usually it's just a fun creative exercise. I think it's always fun to break down the essence of an attraction and think about how it could be different. And today, based on the suggestion of a subscriber, we are going to revisit Lights, Motors, Action. Now, if you've never been on the attraction, it is a stunt show in Hollywood Studios. It's towards the back. I'd say it's about due for a revisit and a refurbishment. In fact, there have been rumors for a while that it's going to be closed down and replaced with something else. It is, as the name suggests, a stunt show primarily based on vehicles. And this one's an interesting one to revisit because there's a lot of potential in so many different ways. I think the easy way to go about it is to say, like, look, I mean, here's an overhead of the attraction. It's all of this and all of that. It is a big area. You can easily fit one attraction, possibly even two attractions in the space. I'd say like one, e-ticket attraction or like two smaller attractions. And of course, I think part of the rumors going around is that it would be part of a Pixar expansion or a, part of a Star Wars expansion. And there's no real solid knowledge either way. And the easy way to revisit this would be to just say remove it all and then, put a ride or two there. But, I feel like that doesn't capture the essence of this attraction and what makes this attraction so fun. So I'm going to try and stick a little bit to the format of this attraction, which is to say a show. I think shows are important, at least for this theme park. This park was founded on the idea of celebrating film and the movies and movie magic. And you had the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular. You still do, technically. I thought that was going to close. I'm wondering what's going on with that one. But then you also have this one. I think there's something about that just sort of screams, studio theme park. And it would be a shame to not have one of those shows at the parks in some way or another. So I would put a show here. I think a show would be really cool. Now, when I think of the shows, when I think of Indiana Jones or when I think of Lights, Motors, Action, I try and think about what about these shows is so entertaining. Why do we like to go to these shows? And I think a large part, it's that sort of fantasy fulfillment, right? You're getting to see live something that you wish you could do or be a part of. And in some cases with like Indiana Jones, you could be a part of it. But with Indiana Jones, it's like seeing, the boulder rolling down and seeing Indy do all these stunts. And with here, it's seeing all these car chases that people love to watch in movies. And something about seeing that all live is really exhilarating. And so I would want to continue that with whatever replaces Lights, Motors, Action. So I was thinking about this, and I feel like the easy options here are all these Disney properties you can revisit. Okay, Star Wars, that's big. And, Marvel, that's big. We can assume that, in a world where they have the legal ability, we could do a Marvel stunt show. And you could do the Star Wars stunt show, or you could do something based on, I don't know, Wreck-It Ralph with the Candy Crush, racing game. But what if, go with me here, what is another character like Indiana Jones who's really cool, does a bunch of cool stunts, whether it's car stunts or fighting stunts that you wish you could be like, who's really suave? Maybe you could go with Han Solo, but that would be sort of hard to do with a stunt like this. And again, that's a Disney property. What about James Bond? What about a James Bond stunt show? Complete with like a bike chase or a car chase, fight sequences, maybe even actual scenes. I think that would be the cool thing. I think if you think about a theater show, right, the whole premise is more of a focus on the acting. You've got the actors on a stage. There's something exhilarating about seeing these actors acting out the scene up close. And then you think about shows like these stunt shows, and it's very drawn back. Like, let's go back here to the seats. You're sitting back here. Yeah, you could watch a car chase like this, and that'd be really cool. But, you can't watch a scene with actors talking to each other. That wouldn't make much sense. They're so far away and so tiny. And that's why when you watch these shows, they move with such exaggerated, motions because they realize they're so tiny in your field of vision there. So why not merge the two? Why not make a James Bond show that's like a 20-minute you know, James Bond sequence with, you know, not just the action and the fights and the gunplay, but also with that like suave dialogue and espionage that James Bond has become known for. And you do that by working in actual sets here. So like, let's fly around a bit. Like you just have an area over here and you can have a set, and maybe using cameras, whether they're like far away using telephoto lenses, or you just break the fourth wall and you have a camera crew there, work in all these close-ups, and then you put a series of screens. And I want to say that some of the screens here, it's been a really long time since I've been to the show, have something like that. Maybe I'm crazy if I'm remembering it wrong, but I've never seen a show that goes really into detail to doing like full-on dialogue scenes with acting, with, you know, an actual narrative arc that matters. I feel like even with the Indiana Jones show, it's really just very, very light setup to get to the action part, because that's what those shows are designed around, the action, and they want to get to the action. And so, you know, there's less of a focus, I think, on the acting and the scenes and the characters, but I would love to see something that more seamlessly blends the intimacy of a Broadway show with the grandiose scale of one of these stunt spectaculars. And I think James Bond would be a fantastic property to use for that. Of course, he's not Disney, but who cares? So what? You know, we've got Avatar Land going up in the Animal Kingdom. Indiana Jones and Star Wars were a part of the parks long before Disney owned them. So it's not really a stretch for Disney to get the rights to do something like this. And I think it'd be really cool. It would make use of this space. It would still have that exciting action element that you want to see in a stunt show, but it would have something new and exciting. And maybe you could even borrow from Indiana Jones and get extras, pull them out of the audience and throw them in there somehow. And you know, maybe it's not the most exaggerated change, it's not turning this attraction up on its head, but I think it would be something that would give it a really cool, you know, shot in the arm, a cool boost to attendance. I think it would be cool. I mean, who doesn't love James Bond? Just hearing that theme song blasting in a space like this while he's, you know, doing all these parkour stunts or doing stunts on a motorcycle, I think that'd be really, really sweet. So that's what I would want to do if I were to revisit Lights Motor Action. Now, I would love to know what you would do if you had to revisit Lights Motor Action. What would you replace this with? Maybe tear it all down? Maybe you barely change a thing, just the color of the cars. Let me know in the comments below. And if you have an idea for an attraction you'd like for me to revisit, also feel free to leave that in the comments below, because like I said at the front of the episode, a lot of these choices come from the subscribers, like these guys down here. Anyway, if you want to reach me on Twitter, I'm at RobPlays. I'm also on Instagram at RobPlaysThatGame. Whatever you're doing this week, make the most of it, because it makes it that much better. And I hope to see you all next time for the next episode of Revisiting Disney. Bye, everybody.